What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the all-day NBA games. Now, if you guys are watching this video, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to hear some background noise because I got my babies in the background. Say hi, ladies. If you guys recognize that voice, that's my baby girl. You guys used to see her cut through my videos back in the day. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to break this down. Excuse the background noise, but you're gonna hear a little bit of it because, of course, Martin Luther King Day, kids out of school, so that's what we got. Before I even do the NBA breakdown, talk about the NBA games and stuff from yesterday, definitely shout out, thank you guys for watching the video. Subscribe if you guys are new here, drop a like on the video if you guys enjoying the content, and thank you guys for checking us out. As always, if you guys don't see me post a video, which I think this is going to actually be a thing moving forward, on Sundays I will not have uploads. It's just too much going on in my house and stuff for me to actually get a upload for a video out, but I could still put my player pool, my cores and stuff, which I did. And you know, some people reached out to me on the Patreon and stuff. Hopefully you guys were able to get that. Last night we had a pretty, not even just pretty, but a really good smacking core last night. And if you guys are able to fill it in pretty well, then you should have cash very well, especially for the fact that we had pieces from that overtime game from the Sacramento Kings and the Milwaukee Bucks. Pretty much stacked that game. Went with Pat Connaughton, Trey Lyles, Bam Adebayo, and Giannis for that core, and it smacked. So if you're able to fill it in pretty good, then you definitely had a pretty good day yesterday. Now, before I even get to the NBA, like I said, I want to talk about these games that I witnessed yesterday. First and foremost, that boy down in Texas, I think he's real. Stroud is real. That boy went out there, threw for 274, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns. They lit up this Cleveland Browns defense. I was I was completely shocked. I didn't expect this game to go the way it did, but it did. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure that the Texans were underdogs in this game, and they smacked the shit out of Joe Flacco and the Browns. Njoku went out there. He had a pretty good day. Joe Flacco, he still threw 46 times, 307 yards, touchdown, all that good stuff. But I personally did not expect that game to go the way that it went. And then, shoot, even to talk about, actually, that was Saturday's game. I forgot. Yesterday's games was the Cowgirls and the Packers, and then the Rams and the Lions. That game was actually close to the Rams and Lions game down there. But then, talking about it, I was really hoping the Chiefs would have lost to the Dolphins. Did not want to have to watch Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs again this year. That's just my vendetta and myself. Now, yesterday's game, the Packers and the Cowgirls, Dak Prescott got exposed. Pretty much again. 2 interceptions. One of them was turned back for a pick 6, if I'm not mistaken. He still threw for 3 touchdowns, 403 yards. Had to throw it 60 times to even do anything in this game. Honestly, just ridiculous. A lot going on in that game. But Jordan Love, the Packers, they might be real. Defense didn't look bad out there. He's connecting with his players, Luke Musgrove, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavion Wicks. Like, the team was clicking, and it was beautiful football to watch. Could have been a better game, honestly, if the Cowgirls would have came to play in the first half and didn't just have all those turnovers and things that they had. Definitely think that could have been better. And then watching the Rams and the Lions, very happy for Jared Goff for beating his former team that traded him away. Matthew Stafford, he should be fine. He's already got his ring. He did first year there with him. So good to see Goff and them Lions. They've been playing very well. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of my favorite players in the league. Really do like the dude from his receiving ability, his durability, and what he can do after the catch. Really great to watch that, and I love that for the Lions. Honestly, I have no team truly that I'm 110% rooting for in the playoffs, but of course I am going to root for some of the players that I do like, and definitely seeing the Lions do what they did yesterday, that was pretty good. Now today, of course, we got 2 more games. We got the Steelers taking on the Bills. Right now, with the way that these games have gone, I'm going to take the Steelers to beat the Bills today. If you're a bet man, just go ahead and just take a wild, crazy bet on the opposite side, just to think something crazy is going to happen. And then in the Eagles and the Buccaneers, for whatever reason, Baker Mayfield is about to go out here and he's going to torch the Eagles. They're going to win this game. It's just going to be something really just stupid is going to happen in this game as well. So yeah, that is my TED Talk for football. Let's go ahead and let's get into this NBA. All right, for the NBA today, of course, because Martin Luther King, NBA gets to have the broadcast waves for today. There's games pretty much all day, starting at 1 p.m. We're going to have Houston taking on Philly. I'm going to cover every single game, every single slate. I'm going to put timestamps down in the comment section and in the description so you guys can jump through as you guys are going through and building your lines. I will go ahead and I will have cores out for all of these slates. And I will tell you for the smaller slates, the 1 p.m. game is only going to be counting this game and the Pelicans game. So between these first 2 games, understand you're going to want to definitely get this news from this game, but you're going to play somewhat light. You're not going to go too heavy on these games. Like the smaller slates, don't go crazy, don't go heavy. Same thing, the 3 p.m. games is only going to encompass these 3 games right here. The only game that's going to be pretty much a showdown is going to be this Golden State and Memphis game. That's going to be, boom, kicked off on its own. And then wrap it up and end it, we're going to have the 5 games down here. So the only game I will not cover is going to be this Golden State and Memphis game. If you guys hit me up on the Patreon, I will drop a core for it. I normally do not play showdowns, but I have no problem going ahead and putting together a showdown core for you guys. That is not a problem issue. I just don't put it out because people don't ask for it. But if you ask for it, as someone did last time, I will put it out. I'll put it up there. So whatever you guys ask for, I got you. Just let me know. Talk to me down in the comment section. Talk to me on the Patreon, in the comments up there as well, and I will hook you guys up. All right, so starting it out with the 1 p.m. game, looking at it, of course, biggest thing for us is going to be in this Philly game. Joel Embiid is expected back today, and of course, they're still going to be without Milton, Lofton, Rocco, and Bamba. Really doesn't matter. He's the 3rd string center. For the Pelicans, we do need to know if CJ and BI are going to play. I fully expect for them to play in this game. They did sit out the last time. And then Zion, he's expected to play as well. This is a rematch of the game that we already saw between Dallas and the Pelicans just recently. Biggest thing over here for them is that Luka is going to be out once again. So, of course, going in this early slate, I would imagine that everyone's going to end up stacking up on Dallas again. We're going to be wanting to shove in the Kyries and all the other crap on the slate. That's how that's going to go for that. Over here for 3 p.m. game, the Magic, they're still without Gary Harris, still without Franz. Wendell Carter Jr. is a game-time decision. Toss up in the air if he's going to play. Over here for New York, we do need to know if Brunson's going to be in or out. Brunson, he sat out the last game. He did not play. Detroit versus Washington. This one probably should be our fantasy goodness game right here. 2 sloppy teams, 2 bad teams going up against each other. Biggest thing that we have to know over here in this game that is honestly truly interesting that we do need to know is whether or not if Bogdanovich is going to play or not. Looking at it, also as well, looks like yesterday we also had a trade that went down on the Pistons with the Pistons and the Wizards. Really kind of crazy. But they traded Marvin Bagley to the Wizards, so that's why we do see Bagley over here and Isaiah Livers. They won't make their debut, so the rotation, backup rotation-wise for the Wizards might be a little short. Same thing over here for Detroit, with another center pretty much out of the rotation for them, Bagley. I would imagine that Wiseman should possibly see his run and in minutes for him there behind Jalen Duren, and of course with Isaiah Stewart fully taking on his role that he has as well. Then we're gonna probably, because Stewart, he normally does play backup role as well. So with Livers being as well shipped off, he was pretty much playing that power forward spot as well. But the Detroit Pistons, they got they got Mike Muscala, Danilo Gallinari, and I'm pretty sure they got Monty Morris as well. I'm pretty sure Monty Morris was on the Wizards. I might be mistaken on that one. Not too sure in regards to that. But interesting trade for 2 trash can teams. I'm really kind of confused. I understand the move for Bagley to get a backup center behind Gafford because that was the one spot that they really did lack. Mike Muscala wasn't really the greatest as a backup center. No physicality right there for him. More of a 3-point shooter, stretch big that you had coming in there for you. So interesting nonetheless. All right, last game on it is going to be San Antonio Spurs taking the Atlanta Hawks. Another game that you could possibly stack. I would expect for this game to be pretty decent and close. This is also a game that's going to be on national televised TV. You guys know how I feel kind of about some national televised TV games, especially with teams who we consider trash cans. The San Antonio Spurs, they showed us last time when they played going up against the Milwaukee Bucks that they can hang with a top team, and we saw that. That boy Wemby popped off in that game against the Bucks, and I expect much of the same kind of here going up in this game against Atlanta. Really interesting for this one. They're still without Zach Collins, still without Sissoko, and then over here for the Hawks, Wesley Matthews, Vic Krejci, Hunter, and Guy. They're all going to be out, so nothing crazy that we got to worry about over here for the Hawks. Truly, but definitely should be an interesting game if you guys do tune in and watch it. Now over here for the main slate, the 5-game slate that we're going to have, Bulls taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland still dealing with a whole bunch of their injuries. Biggest thing we got to know if Max Strus is going to be in or out for them. Over here for the Chicago Bulls, they got their starting lineup back. Biggest thing for them is going to be if Patrick Williams is in or out. Patrick Williams does come off of the bench anyway, so definitely just want to know if he's gonna be playing or not, because then that's gonna probably boost some minutes for plays off the bench for them. Over here for the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler's still dealing with that foot injury. We do need to know if he's gonna be in or out, because that's gonna mess with just the usage or who gets slid back into the starting lineup. Jaime Jaquez, I want to say he pulled his groin or something last game that they were yesterday. Yesterday he pulled his groin if I'm not mistaken. So Jaime, he's already been ruled out for today. I definitely do want to know if it's gonna be we're gonna be seeing Highsmith put into the starting lineup or something like that. But Jimmy Butler currently game time decision. We should have that news close closer, or at least sometime in the afternoon. For the Brooklyn Nets, Daze Sharp, he's going to be out. Ben Simmons, of course, still dealing with his back. For the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown popped up on the injury report yesterday. We do need to know if he's going to be in or out. If he's out, of course, that's Tatum to the moon. KP, Derek White, those guys, they all get a boost. Toronto Raptors, really no news that we got to truly pay attention to besides the fact that Jakob Poeltl, he's going to be out. They've been starting Thaddeus Young, not really to me the best thing in the world, but Thaddy, he's been starting there at that position. And then Pacers taking on Utah, should be a pretty decent game. Neesmith, game time decision. We already know that Halliburton pulled that hammy. He's going to be out for a minute. What was his quad? One of the two. And then for the OKC Thunder, Shea popped up on the injury report yesterday as a game time decision, possibly for his knee. It's interesting to note. I'm pretty sure we're on the front end of a back-to-back because, of course, whenever we do go out to LA, we play the Lakers one night, then we play the Clippers the next night. I would imagine that we are playing the Clippers tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we're playing the Clippers tomorrow. We are also number 1 seed. I personally think we can beat the Lakers without Shea. I know Shea does like to play whenever we do go to LA. So interesting to note, but I wouldn't be surprised if they save him to play him against the Clippers, the team that we that we should need him going up against. So definitely something to pay attention to right there. And then for the Lakers, as always, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, game time decisions, but fully do expect for them to play. Biggest thing is the fact that Cam Reddish is going to be out of that starting lineup. So I would imagine, looks like they are putting in D'Lo back into starters and back into the starting lineup. So definitely something that you want to pay attention to and make sure that D'Lo is actually going to be starting if you guys are even going to be paying attention to that game. All right, so like I said, this is going to be a long video, longer than most of my other videos. Again, I will put the timestamps down into the comment section to go ahead and jump from game as you guys are looking for it. So starting with this 2-game that starts fairly in the next couple of hours. I will have this up in time, hopefully, for the 1 p.m. games. It's only 2 games. Going straight over to it, we're going to start with the Houston Rockets taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, going over DraftKings. If you guys don't have an account and you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. Really great site. Do like the promos and everything that they have over here and the contest selection and everything. Really do like the upside. All right, looking at it, the Rockets taking on the Kings. Rockets taking on the 76ers. If Embiid is in or if Embiid is out, either way, it's going to be interesting. I think that we could definitely target our main guys that we normally like to go to when it comes down to it over here on the Houston Rockets in Fred VanVleet, Şengöt. Those would be the main 2 guys that I want to look to. Looking at it, if I have to choose between any of them, it's going to be that boy Şengöt. When he played going up against, I'm pretty sure he played against Embiid in that game because they did play earlier this season. I'm pretty sure that Embiid played in that game. But playing against him earlier this season, he went out there and he dropped 50-plus fantasy points in that game. He legit, 34 minutes, dropped 50 fantasy points going up against Embiid already for the season. I'm going to say against Embiid until I fully clarify that when I look at Embiid and everything. But I do like the upside for him here. I really do believe that at 8'5", centers, we have seen them. They've done decent going up against Philly with or without Embiid. We know he can be lackadaisy sometimes on the defensive side anyway. Not a problem going right back to him. Really do. Going back to him, not a problem at all. I do like the upside that he brings in regards to it. 8'5", definitely lets you come down. And just looking at all the other studs that we have up here, the guys that are priced way higher than him, BI, Tyrese Maxey, Kyrie. The biggest one that's going to have all that ownership there is going to be Kyrie. And plus, we don't know if Embiid's going to be on a minute limit or anything yet. So he might be going up against Paul Reed as the backup big or something like that. Definitely do like the upside that we could possibly get there for him. So definitely do like that. And then if you want to mess with it, that boy Dylan Brooks, he came back from his injury. He only played 25 minutes in that first game. Don't hate it, don't mind it. But I'm going to go right back to kind of guy that's been my wagon that I've been going to over and over again. Not Amen Thompson. Hold on 1 second. Nasty sneeze. All right, Cam Whitmore. He let me down in that game against Detroit, but bounced back in a major way going up against Boston. Went 7 of 13, had 7 rebounds, 22 points. His highest scoring total so far for the season since he's out here. Looks like they are trusting him more and more out there. Played, of course, back in of a back-to-back. Played more minutes in that game. If you went back to him in that second game, even though he's gotten a price hike, he's up to 4.8. He's at 4.9. I don't hate it. He's playing a mix in regards to his minutes, but if his shot is falling, he's playing that hard-nosed defense. I love the upside for him. I think that he will come in lower owned, but he will be my second favorite player over here on the Rockets between Şengün. Outside of that, I don't hate or mind messing with Fred VanVleet. Opposing point guards, they've had so-so game logs going up against the 76ers. They're decent on the defensive side, but I will say Freddie V in 43 minutes going up against the 76ers earlier this season, he dropped 58 fantasy points in that game. So the upside is definitely there for Freddie V. Looking at it, he is due for a bounce back after playing against Boston. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, especially because it was a back-to-back going up against Boston. Just played against Detroit, smacked them up for 54 fantasy points in 43 minutes, played mega minutes in that game, and then only played 23 minutes going up against the Boston Celtics. So definitely understandable. I do understand they did get their asses blown out in that game as well. That is probably why that we got to see the big minutes for Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson, all these other guys. But still, Cam Whitmore, I love the upside for the kid. If he comes in there and he can knock down his three-point shots, which you'll see, he takes a lot of threes. He's pretty decent from the three-point line, as long as he can actually get him knocked down. I just still do like the upside for him in that regard. Now, going over to the other side, to the Philadelphia 76ers, looking at them, again, if Embiid's in, I will want to pay attention to see if he's going to be on any type of minute limit. Looking at it, he's questionable for Monday's game. Full participation in Sunday's practice is near return to game action. It's the front end of a back-to-back, so maybe we don't see Embiid. But if we were to see Embiid, of course, don't hate playing to him as a GPP option. Might come in as lower ownership, especially on this two-game slate when it comes down to the studs. Everyone's going to be flocking to Kyrie with no Luka, as rightfully so they should. But again, you can get a low on Joel Embiid. We've seen it when he came back the first time from injury, where he went out there and what was the first game that he came back? He played going up against the Chicago Bulls, played 31 minutes against the Bulls. 31 minutes and dropped 74.25 fantasy points in 31 minutes. That's crazy. That's legit crazy. First game back, 31. So definitely will want to pay attention to that. But I would imagine that either he will be limited in some type of aspect or they will save him for the other game that they have. Now, if that's going to be the case, then again, I've said it time and time again, I do believe that Kelly Oubre Jr. plays better with Embiid in the game. I don't mind going to Kelly O here in this spot. Kelly, in his first game going up against the Houston Rockets in that game, he played 24 minutes, only gave us 15 fantasy points going up against them. That was on December 29th. But opposing, depending on what spot he's going to be playing, I would imagine he'd be playing at two guard. Opposing two guards have done pretty decent going up against him. We just saw Derek White go for 29 fantasy points, Jaden Ivey 39, Zach LaVine 61, Tyler Hero 38. So the realm of possibilities of what Kelly O can go out here and do, knock it down from three. He's hitting it. We've seen it the last couple of games. He's not doing too well from the three-point line. Went 50% in this game, but 1 of 6, 0 of 3. He's definitely due for a bounce back, and we know if he can actually knock down a shot, we do have a chance for him to get over 30 plus fantasy points on any given day. And sitting at 6K, that's a pretty nice price tag for Kelly O. Now, if Embiid is going to be out, then of course I 10,000% think we go right back to Tobias Harris, who we have seen time and time again with Embiid out, has played very good. 41 minutes against the Hawks, dropped 54 fantasy points. 36 minutes against the Kings, 56.25 fantasy points. I mean, I can't ask for too much from Tobias Harris and what he's going out there and doing. If Embiid is out, definitely do think that we're going to want to get at least maybe 2 of these 76ers, Tobias Harris to Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris to Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Paul Reed, Tobias Harris, Batum, Morris, one of those guys. We're going to want to play somebody else besides Tobias Harris. But Tobias seems pretty secure, safe. The rebound upside should be there for him. Playing against the Houston Rockets earlier, 35 minutes, dropped 51 fantasy points in that game. So the upside is definitely going to be there for him to be able to do such a thing. And to answer my own question, Embiid did not play in that first game going up against the Houston Rockets. And again, he might not play in this game, so Şengün could possibly be in a really good spot here either way if Embiid is in or out. And then, of course, last but not least, Tyrese Maxey. No Melton, so the ball will be in his hand. I do believe that his assist upside will go up as well without Melton being out there. Playing against the Rockets earlier this season, he played 41 minutes to drop 55 fantasy points. So again, if Embiid is out, we're going to want to get at least 2 of these main guys from the 76ers. And that main core is the Maxey, the Harris, the Kelly Oubre, Batum, and Marcus Morris. That's going to be the main core that you're going to want to pick at least 2 players from if Embiid is going to be out. If Embiid is going to be in, then I say one of them, and to me the favorite one is going to be Kelly O. Like I've said, it just seems like he plays so much better with Embiid in the line, and that's just my take on that. Now going over here to the Pelicans taking on Dallas. Of course, like I said, Zion, I fully expect for him to actually play in this game. He didn't play in the last game that they played going up against Dallas on the 13th, but he did play the 2 prior games that they did going up against Dallas, playing 27 minutes in both of those games. Kind of seems like Zion is somewhat minute limited to around that 30 to 20 something minute mark for them. Really interesting, but nonetheless, do like the upside that we could possibly get in regards to Zion. If BI is out and CJ is out, all the uses should go to him. Definitely want to know if all these questionable tags are going to matter for the day. But just looking at it, we're going to go with the assumption that they're going to play. I don't see any reason to hold them out. They already missed the last game for them. So I would take it that they should be in. Looking at it, still haven't got any update in regards to if they're going to be in or out yet. Just went ahead and I checked on X. Now, if CJ McCollum's going to be in, if BI is going to be in, and if Zion and Trey Murphy and all of them going to be in, the best play to me is going to technically come down to just CJ. I'm not scared of Kyrie Irving defense. We do know that opposing point guards have done pretty decent going up against Dallas, and I will go ahead and jump right back on that bandwagon and go to CJ. We seen last game, it was, I don't think Jordan Hawkins technically was the starting point guard, but looking at matchups, tell me that Jordan Hawkins was the starting point guard, which he wasn't. Jordan Hawkins definitely should be the 2, and that would be BI. But CJ McCollum, he's been playing very well over his last several games, dishing the rock pretty well, and he comes out, he's been scoring or looking to score. Definitely, if he can get it going from 3, he should go out here and have a pretty decent game. I'll take the 30+ fantasy points with the hope that he maybe can get to 40. I do like the price tag at 8-1. I would definitely take that for him. Now, outside of that, you can definitely mess with Brandon Ingram. Opposing 2 guards have done very well going up against the Dallas Mavericks, especially for the fact of the shift in the starting lineup and everything that they have. We did just see Jordan Hawkins, who played the 2 in that last game. He let them up out there, did very well from 3. I know BI, he's not the most prolific scorer from the 3-point range, but he definitely can stuff the stat sheet and can get going with his rebounds, with his assist, and with his scoring just aspect, period, that he does have out there. So if he's actually going to be in, don't mind him as a GPP option, but I will say my favorite will be CJ McCollum. And then last but not least, going to be my boy Jonas Valanciunas. Opposing centers done very well. In Jonas, he played going up against Dallas in that last game, dropped 45 fantasy points. Of course, that's with everyone missing. But if you look at Jonas's history going up against Dallas as well, he's done very well throughout his career going up against them. So I really do not mind or hate playing Jonas at all in this spot. And then another GPP option that you can mess with if you want to would be you can look at the Herb Jones of the world, especially if we're going to be missing a Trey Murphy or something like that. You can mess with Herb Jones. You can also mess with Trey Murphy, but if Trey Murphy is going to be out, I'd imagine that it's going to be some decent backup run for plays like Dyson Daniels, Najee Morris, or Hawkins. All these guys right here will be the main guys I look to. We already know that Jose Alvarado, Larry Nance, they're going to get the regular rotations and things like that. Don't mind them as deep GPP options, but main guys I look to would be BI, CJ McCollum, and Jonas would be the most secure players I can go to. If those players are going to be out, if anyone's going to be out except for Zion, then I would definitely be looking to Zion, Jonas Valanciunas, and whoever they slide into the starting lineup, especially at that 2 guard and that 1 guard spot, will be the main value pieces that I'm going to want to go ahead and get from that game. Now over here from Dallas, it's pretty straightforward, and it's going to be the same thing. As long as Luka's out, you're going to want to go with Kyrie. The usage and everything that he has is skyrocketed, and it's just there. So he's going to be your main guy, your main play that you're going to want to go to on the side of the ball. And then outside of that, you can mess with, and you can rotate in a Tim Hardaway Jr. You can mess with a Jaden Hardy and a Jalen, I think it's Jalen Green, if I'm not mistaken. Jaden Hardy, yep, Jaden Hardy, and you can rotate in Josh Green as well. Those are going to be the main guys that are going to get the rotation to run in the minutes out there for Dallas. Everyone else, they're kind of chop chicken. They don't really do too much in regards to what they actually can bring to the table. I could actually give you guys a pretty... So I'll put the core up on site for that game, but just going to go ahead and try to get through this so the way we can definitely make sure I get this video up in time and can get notes and stuff put up on site for you guys versus just trying to do everything through the video. All right, going over to the next slate that we got. We got Detroit taking on the Washington Wizards. Like I said, Detroit, they are without a couple of players because they did just make a trade. So I think that's just going to shorten up the rotation and what we should get for the center and the power forward position. Outside of that, I don't think it's going to do too much there. But this should be a good game. It should be fantasy goodness left and right in this game. Jalen Duren has a really good matchup. We know opposing centers have cooked going up against Daniel Gafford. That might have been one of the reasons why they went ahead and made the trade. You've seen without Cade Cunningham, Duren has looked very good out here. I definitely think this is one of those games we can go ahead and take his rebounds again as a prop. I know it was a prop that was riding pretty heavy back when he was averaging practically a double-double. Right now, they don't have him up on Prize Picks, but if you're on other sites like Chalkboard or Underdog or something like that, he might be on there. I know that Chalkboard, they just put out that they're doing a promo for Kyrie Irving to score 0.5 of a point, rebound, or an assist. Right now, that is the current promo that they have live up on Chalkboard, so definitely go ahead and take advantage of that if you guys don't have an account. But pulling up Chalkboard, pulling it up and looking, seeing they don't have Jalen Duren up over here on Chalkboard either. But if you can go ahead and you can get his assists, I mean not his assists, his rebounds, that's definitely something I would go ahead and take advantage of because he should smack that pretty easy. Outside of that, We already know that the starting lineup is going to be Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, both of those guys that have really great usage. Between the two, and if Bogdan is going to be out, then Ivey's going to be the main guy I'm going to want to go to. Just the usage and everything that the kid's going out there and he's running. Another wagon play that I've been on over the past couple games, especially with no Cade Cunningham, has been Jaden Ivey and has been Killian Hayes for their assist or their for their RA. Both of those have killed over the last several games, and this should be legit a back and forth game. Probably will be a game I might want a game stack. I definitely could see taking Duran's rebounds or his points and rebounds. Take Killian Hayes. Actually, you could take Duran's rebounds. You could take Killian Hayes for his rebounds and assists, or just his assists. You could take Jaden Ivey for his points and assists. All three of those have pretty much been pretty green since Cade Cunningham has gone down. So I really do like that as possible plays that you can actually take over there. But if Bogdan is going to be out, I'd imagine maybe we get to see Alex Burke slid into the starting lineup, and we do know he's a vet. He goes out there, he shoots, he knocked down his 3-point shot, pretty good, prolific at that. If he is slid into the starting lineup, I do like the upside for him. Don't hate it, especially at that 5-3 price tag. But I'll say my favorite play is going to be Jalen Ivey and Duran. I might end up stacking these two, but really do like the upside from this game and the San Antonio and Atlanta game. I think these two games are going to be where you're going to want to get a lot of players from on this 3-game slate. Now over here on the Washington side, looking at it, I mean, the upside is going to be there for players like Kuzma, for Gafford as well. We know opposing centers have done pretty decent going up against Detroit. And Gafford, he's a mixing pot in regards to what you're actually going to get. But I don't mind Gafford as a possible play. Kyle Kuzma, opposing power forwards, they've been so-so going up against Detroit. Another play that you could possibly go ahead and take. But I will advocate for my dude. He's been playing pretty good over the last couple games. I know I swore I'm not going back to him. I don't want to play him anymore. But I can't ignore 3 straight games of 30-plus fantasy points. Jordan Poole. It might be back to a pool party. He's shooting pretty decent from 3. He's getting involved, playing some pretty decent defense, not looking too bad out there. I definitely don't mind the upset that we could possibly get for Jordan Poole. Outside of Poole, Denny Avnia sitting at 6'8". The kid's been balling over his last couple games. Looks like he's finding his role, his footing. He's really stuffing the stat sheet in regards to snagging those rebounds and the playmaking upside. It's very interesting what he's doing, trying to lock in on defense. And to me, a player that's not afraid to go ahead and get those personal fouls, he's trying to lock in on the defensive side. But the scoring as well, that aspect is just uptick for him. And I do like the upside in what should be a fast-paced back-and-forth game between the Pistons and Washington. Denny Avnia, Jordan Poole, even take a stab at Tyus Jones would be the main guys that I want to go ahead and look to over here. Kyle Kuzma, he's kind of the odd man out, oddball. I don't mind, don't hate it. If Kuz isn't really doing too much in regards to the scoring aspect, sometimes you can get definitely a down game from him. But not a player I'm going to go ahead and rule out. Definitely don't mind the upside that you could possibly get for him over there. Now, Orlando taking on the New York Knickerbockers. From this game, very honest, the only player I probably will look to would be Paolo. His upside should be there in regards to the fact that, I mean, the man is doing everything for this team right now. His usage is skyrocketing, especially with the fact that Jalen Suggs has been playing like shit over the last couple of games. Cole Anthony, he's so-so, but instead, of course, they still want to run him off the bench. Mo Wagner, I'm not too interested here, not in this spot. The Knicks, since they made that trade, they're pretty good on the defensive side. Fultz, not even going to mess with that. Houston, Okeke, not too interested there in either of those guys. For me, it's going to be Paolo and Suggs, both of them playing in the Garden. I would imagine that a lot of players, whenever they do go to the Garden and they play in the Garden, they do like to play up in these position spots. So definitely do like the upside and possibility of what they can actually do in this game and in this spot here going up against them. On the other side, for the New York Knickerbockers, like I said, their defense has greatly improved since they made that trade. And I saw a report earlier today saying that they felt like they got rid of the softies that they had on the team. So that's one reason why they feel like they're playing so much better and are doing a lot of the things that they're doing. Over for the Knicks, honestly, almost everybody in the starting lineup has a pretty decent matchup. If Brunson is going to be out, then we're going to want to get Julius Randle or a Hartenstein or OG. McBride, I said it last time, I would expect for him to slide into the starting lineup, and he did. 38.5 fantasy points. Kid went out there and he balled so hard. So don't mind looking at Miles McBride if Brunson is going to be out. But if Brunson's back, then everyone's going to get a tick down in regards to what they can actually go out here and do. Might be priced up a little bit too much for me if Brunson is actually going to be in. I could probably still play a player like Dante DiVincenzo or something like that, or Josh Hart. But outside of that, I'm not going to go too deep in regards to it. Again, that depends on if Brunson is in. If Brunson is in, I might still take a chance on Julius Randle just because his matchup looks pretty good in regards to just going up against a high usage Paolo who's trying to do everything out there. And the last time he played against them in 36 minutes, he dropped 63 fantasy points. So the upside is definitely there for him. And I really do like a pretty aggressive Julius Randle whenever he's out there and he's actually trying to command and score out there. I definitely like the upside for him. Now, the game of the day, the Spurs taking on the Atlanta Hawks. This game has some implications because we know that DeJounte Murray, quote unquote, is supposedly on the trade block, and he might be going back to his former team. Wemby is still on a minutes limit. He's not going to play more than 25, 26 minutes a game. That has come out. That is just straight facts. But I'm going to read you his last several game logs since he came back from injury. This is since he came back from injury. He's played 24, 26, 26, 25, 21, and 20 minutes. He has not one fantasy point game below 36 fantasy points in that span. And he has 4 fantasy point games. Out of those 6, he has gone for 46 plus fantasy points with 350 plus fantasy point games. And he's doing that in 26 minutes. If we were to get this kid to play for a full 30, he would break the slate like Russell Westbrook did in his MVP season, dropping damn near 80 fantasy points a game. That is ridiculous. The block upside is there for him, the rebounding, the assisting, the scoring, the blocks, like all of it is there. And I love the upside, and I love the matchup for Wemby. I definitely don't. Not even know. I know Clint Capella is not going to be able to do shit with him. Jalen Johnson, as much as I love playing the kid, he's not going to be able to do shit with him. The upside is just there. It is beautiful, and I love it there for Wemby. Outside of Wemby, the other guy that I really do like here in this spot is going to be Jeremy Sochan. I do like the value that we get for him sitting at the 5'7". I know he hasn't really performed in these last couple of games when you do look at his game logs, but when he played going up against the Atlanta Hawks earlier this season, in 36 minutes, he smoked them for 53 fantasy points. So the upside is definitely there for him. And speaking of my boy Wemby, in 29 minutes, he dropped 52 fantasy points going up against the Atlanta Hawks the first time that he played them. So again, the upside is there for Wemby. And in that game, he had 4 blocks, 12 rebounds, 21 points, and 2 assists, and 2 steals as well. So if they actually put Wembanyama for his blocks and steals or anything like that, which I know that they've gotten smarter in regards to actually giving us that free cheese, but they got him up here for 2.5. No, they don't. They got him up here for 3.5 blocks and steals on Prize Picks, smashing the over. I know he has not gone over that over the last couple games, but Clint Capella with the putbacks. Think about it. Wemby's down there. Block. DeJounte Murray coming in, slashing in, trying to go ahead and get in there, get in the paint. Block. Just came out, Joel Embiid knee won't have a minute restriction if he plays today. So again, I told you guys, boy, Joel, fantasy point per minute produced when he was out there on the court. That's just crazy. I'm getting sidetracked, but anyway, Wembanyama over 3.5 blocks. I love the upside for that play. Love it. I will be taking it. I'm definitely gonna find something to pair it with as well. As I go through and I look at these lines, man, that's crazy. 3.5. They're giving us 3.5. Wemby can cover that clearly with 4 straight up blocks, and he killed it. He had 4 blocks in this first matchup going up against them. I'm not taking that for granted right there. I'm definitely getting that play right there. That's one of my plays right there for today. Outside of Wemby, outside of Keldon, out of Jeremy Sochan, you definitely can mess with the Tyus Jones. I like the fact that he's actually playing the starting point guard role. We've seen the last game, he popped off for some odd reason. 32 minutes, dropped 48 fantasy points against Chicago Bulls. I don't hate it. In 24 minutes against the Atlanta Hawks earlier this season, he only dropped 15. So I definitely just like the fact that he's actually playing the point guard role. Don't hate, don't mind going to him. And then outside of that, you can definitely mess with going with a Devin Vassell or a Keldon Johnson. Either of those players, that's cool, that's fine. But our main 2 guys is going to be Wemby and Sochan will be the main ones that I want to get to over here on that side. On the other side, looking at the Atlanta Hawks, if we're going to be running a Wemby, we're going to be running a Sochan or something like that. I've already talked about the fantasy goodness that this game should be. I'm going to go back to my boy. He's burnt me time and time again. Both times that I went ahead and played him. He did not play in the first matchup going up against Wembanyama, but Jalen Johnson. I can see him getting himself into foul trouble. He's coming off of back-to-back dud games and pretty good matchups. Really good matchups, honestly, if I'm telling you the truth. But at 7,400, I love the upside for this young man. I definitely do feel like he's going to be a star player as he continues to grow and play in the league. Nonetheless, I like the trajectory of what he can go out there and do. Now, outside of him, of course, with DeJounte Murray, the implications of, hey, yo, he's on the trade block. Possibly can go back to his team. Hey, Pop, let me show you what I've learned while I've been over here in Atlanta. He played very well against him in that first game that he did play. 35 minutes, dropped 41 fantasy points. Don't hate, don't mind going right straight back over there to him. And then if you want to, you can definitely go to Trae Young at 10K. Worth it. A stud, paying up for him. He is dealing with a shoulder injury. I would just go ahead and take his assist. I want to say his assist should be at 10.5 if I'm not mistaken still. But it's sitting at 10.5. Actually, boom, I'm going to pair that with Wemby right now. Taking a small detour on the slate. Bam. Trae Young and Wembanyama. 10.5 assists for Trae Young. 3.5 blocks and steals from Wembanyama. Just lock that in. Easy day right there. All right. Outside of that, but be mainly Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. You guys already know I do always like to come down for the value you can get DeJounte Murray plus the trade rumors and everything that he has. I don't mind just going to him. If I'm actually just gonna be very honest with you guys, let me just go ahead and make the stack real quick. Wembanyama and where's Sochan. Here we go. Boom. All right, that leaves you with 5-5 left over on the slate. And then if you want to come over here to Detroit and looking at them, let me see if I can't slap you in there and then go ahead and take Jaden Ivey. That leaves you with 443, and then maybe come into this New York Knicks game, possibly find you a value play. So let's go ahead. This is a pretty decent core right here. Now we're just trying to go ahead and work in and get our value. That's when we're going to come down in here. You can definitely come and you can mess with a Chuma Okeke at 4-4. Don't hate, don't mind that. Anthony Black, we know he's going to get some minutes. Champetti, he's going to get some minutes. If Bogdan's going to miss, we could possibly mess with a Cesare. I know I didn't talk about him too much on the stream, but definitely don't mind going right there to that. Caleb Houston. It's definitely some different plays and spots that you could definitely go to and really just build this out and finish it. But I do like the upside that core could have if it was run it right there. Or you can get different. Go back over to Detroit. Instead of taking Jaden Ivey, you can come down for the savings that you can get with Killian Hayes and Duren, because either one, Ivy or Hayes, both of them are in a very much a plus matchup. And then you can still get your Wembanyama. You can still go over here and play your Jeremy Sochan for his position. You go over here to the Hawks. You can go ahead and get your DeJounte Murray, and then at least with 4-9, which is a better some better value you can possibly get right there. You can go to Chuma Okeke to get your exposure from this Orlando game, because you know he's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to get those minutes out there. Where are you, Chuma? I'm like fully building this out for you guys right now while I'm on stream, which is not something I normally do. All right, boom. That leaves you with 5-1. So I know that there's some different plays you could possibly get for 5K, or you can go with another value play in that 4K range, and you can honestly build this out completely. But the upside for that line right there, don't be surprised if that's going to be like my actual core when it comes down to it for that game. All right, going over to the last game, or not the last game, the last set of games that we have to talk about. We're going to go to the main slate, what we should be getting, and that's going to be like I said, we're not going to cover Showdown, but that's going to be this 5-game slate. Surprisingly, DraftKings has decided, hey, we're going to include this 10:30 game, the late night hammer, but we got the Bulls taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking at it, as always, real quick synopsis for the Bulls. If everyone's healthy, everyone's starting, everyone's good, look at the ownership, decide who you want to go with from there. Everyone is literally priced so close to each other. I will take whoever is the lower owned is who I like to go with and what I like to do for when it comes down to it. Over here on the Cleveland side, if Max Strus is going to be out, maybe we might finally get to see Karis LeVert get slid back into the starting lineup. We already know that Garland and Mobley are going to be out. Donovan Mitchell, of course, the upside is going to be there. I do like the upside for Jarrett Allen. We do know opposing centers have done very well going up against the Chicago Bulls with Drummond, without Drummond, with Vooch out there. Doesn't matter. 8-5. I love the upside for him. Of course, Donovan Mitchell, he's going to have all the usage in the world. But I will say, I personally have not had the best luck in regards to when it comes down to playing Donovan Mitchell. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just maybe bad luck or something like that. But when it comes down to just playing Donovan Mitchell, I don't have the best luck with it. This is a pretty decent matchup. I will say that Chicago, they've done pretty well defending opposing point guards, since that is the position that Donnie's going to be out there playing. But we can't ignore the usage and everything that he should have and what he should be able to bring to the table going up against the Chicago Bulls. Like it's pretty straightforward in regards to what he's going to have to go out here and do. Playing against them, he didn't play in the first game that they played earlier this season, and without Max Strus being out there, I can only imagine that the usage and everything that he's going to carry is going to be very much sky high. Like I said, you can definitely rotate over here and just play Karis LeVert if you don't want to mess with Donovan Mitchell. The upside is right there for LeVert, and if you look at his game logs, he's dropped 30-plus fantasy points in every single game, and this is off of the bench and in limited minutes. So if he starts, I know sometimes LeVert, he does start slow, but he can definitely still go ahead and get you there in regards to what he can go out there and do. And like I said, I do like the upside for Jarrett Allen. 35 minutes in that first game going up against him, dropped 56 fantasy points, and of course that was without Donovan Mitchell in that game. All right, going over to the Boston Celtics, taking on the Toronto Raptors. We do need to know if Jaylen Brown is going to be in or out. That's going to be the biggest thing. If Brown is out, then you're going to want to play one of Tatum, KP, Derek White. Like point blank period. I do love the matchup for KP just because he's not going to be going up against any type of traditional center. With Jakob Poeltl being out, who's going to defend him? You're going to put Beauchard out there on him, get him in foul trouble. You're going to put Thaddeus Young, you're giving up at least a foot right there. KP, easy matchup right here. We've seen opposing centers have honestly cooked against the Raptors since they shipped some bodies out. AD dropped 66. Tracy Jackson Davis for the Warriors dropped 40. Sabonis dropped 60. Jared Allen dropped 39. Jalen Duren dropped 43. The upside is there for KP to have a popping game in this spot. Love the upside for him. Don't mind that at all. Like I said, if Brown is out, I'm going to want one of Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, or Darren White. Even if Brown is going to be in, I still love the upside for KP here in this spot. Period. Over here on the Toronto Raptors side, first game they've been playing in a while at home. They were on a long road trip that they have finally wrapped up. Now they are back home. Looking at it, for the most part, I'll say you can mess with anybody over here on the Raptors. Quickly sitting at 6'9", I don't mind, don't hate it. The kid's been playing pretty good since been put into the starting lineup. Didn't play too well going up against Utah, but this game was a blowout. Only played 25 minutes, so I can't fault him here. I didn't record any assist or anything like that. Again, the last game of a long road trip for these guys. So back home, rejuvenated. I definitely do think maybe we can get back into the realm of the 30+ fantasy point type game for him. We have seen opposing point guards. They've done very well going up against Boston. Some pretty mixing results in regards to what we've gotten from some of the point guards, but most point guards, they come out here, they cook, they do what they got to do, and they play pretty decently. Outside of that, I don't mind the upside for RJ Barrett if he's actually able to knock down the shots, playing at home in front of his home crowd, back at home for Toronto. We know this got to be a dream come true for the kid who is from Canada, so the upside possibly could be there for RJ. And then outside of that, maybe you can mess with a Scotty Barnes or Pascal Siakam, but I'll say since they've acquired those two new pieces, Scotty, we're not getting these crazy 40, 50+ fantasy point games that we're getting for him early in the season. And then Siakam as well. It's kind of a mix of pot in regards to what we've gotten from Siakam. I say his usage and everything has been too effective with Quickly and then being put there. But my favorite play for the Raptors is going to have to be Iman Quickly at 6'9". Would be the main one I would want to take from over there. Going over to the Miami Heat, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. A lot of it over here for the Miami Heat is going to all depend on if Jimmy Butler's going to be in or out. Looking at it, his toe will travel with Team Monday against the Nets. Butler missed 11 in the last 12 matchup. If Butler's going to be in, I'd only imagine he would be on a minutes limit, period. Like, I don't see any reason to rush him, ramp him up, or anything like that. And if he's in, it's going to kind of mess with some of the uses that we can get for players like Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, things like that. Now, if he's going to be out, then I don't mind the upside for players like Duncan Robinson off the bench. We've seen it last night. He played very well in that game. 30 minutes, dropped 36 fantasy points. Pretty good value if you were able to actually go and play that. I didn't get there for him. Nikola Jovic, he should still be in the starting lineup. 28 minutes, dropped 19.75 fantasy points. Maybe we can get a 30+ fantasy point type game from him here in this spot. If Jimmy Butler's going to be out, I don't mind going back to a Bam or Tyler Hero. He only played 35 minutes last night. Game kind of was out of hand, and he was still out there on the court for a long time. I don't understand no reason why he should have been out there, but still dropped 49.5 fantasy points. So happy that he did that. Definitely helped in regards to the core right there. But looking at it, I'm not too sure exactly how I want to move just yet with the Heat. They're just very finicky for me. All of them right now would be GPP options, not anyone that I am like really stuck out like I want to play. Over on the other side for the Brooklyn Shitters, like I always said, Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Johnson, Claxton, Bridges, all these guys, roll the dice and just figure out which one you want to play. But just know I hate Brooklyn. I'm not going to play them. It's no vendetta against the city or anything like that. It's just legit. They play half-assed. They look like they're not even trying. Mikal Bridges is legit a sniper, but comes out here and just... They're just trash. They're horrible. They are fucking horrible. If we're just gonna be point blank about it. Going over to Indy, taking on Utah. Indy's on the back end of a back-to-back. They played last night going up against Denver. Now they traveled over to Utah. Shouldn't be a long travel, but they are still playing on the road again. For them, it'll be the main contributors that want to go to over here. The Bruce Browns, the Nembhard. Depends on whether or not if Nesmith is going to be in or out. If Nesmith's out, I would imagine they probably put Obi Toppin back into the starting lineup, or by the rare chance, maybe we can get a Benner Mathurin put back in with the starters. The kid's a freaking bucket if they actually ever let him play. Only 22 minutes last night, 18.25 fantasy points. Don't hate, don't mind it. Upside could definitely be there for him. Miles Turner, I don't like taking centers going up against Utah. Utah actually does very well defending opposing centers. Well, I'm not going to say very well. They've done pretty decent. And Miles Turner on a back-to-back, a jump shooter, which is what Miles Turner is. I definitely just feel like this is a letdown game type spot for him. TJ McConnell at 7K. As much as I hate to come here and play this much for him, only played 19 minutes yesterday, 2 of 9 from the field. Really didn't give us his assist type game. Definitely a game where you can go out there and get some steals and some blocks going up against the Colin Sexton, uh, Jordan Clarkson, and Chris Dunn, who can turn the ball over. So TJ McConnell, the swiper that he is, I do like the upside for him, and Bruce Brown would be the main 2 guys I look to over here from the Indiana, from Indy. But other than that, I'm not too interested in them. Over here for Utah, Lauri Markkanen, be the main guy I want to go to over here. Really great. Played good in his last game, 55.25 fantasy points against the Los Angeles Fakers. The upside is definitely there for him. I'm so glad they beat the Lakers, man. I'm so glad they beat the Lakers. But Lauri Markkanen, Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, like all these guys, pretty evenly. Don't mind going to Colin Sexton, of course. Dude, usage is there. As long as he's starting, he's a bucket. He is legit a walking bucket. And I would take his points over if they ever go ahead and add some daggone Utah players on the board. They finally do actually have them up here. They got Colin Sexton. I would take... Looking at it, I don't mind his assist sitting at the 4. Definitely has push or over potential right there for him. If not, I definitely don't mind looking at his points and assists, his PA at 24.5. Both of those would be some pretty decent plays. It's going to be a little bit of a sweat going for the 19.5 points. I don't mind it, but definitely just understand that definitely will be a sweat for him. If you would rather just go with his first half points at 9.5, do see him being able to get at least 10 in that first half. The upside should definitely be there going up against, again, a fast-paced indie team that just loves to play fast. And Colin Sexton, if you know him, the dude, the young bull, he is downhill all the time whenever he's out there on the court. So the upside is definitely there for him. And they finally put Jordan Clarkson up here on the board. I wanted Jordan Clarkson, his points and assists. I like the upside for him here for that. He's done pretty good going up against Indy in his career and at home going over in regards to this one. That was one of my plays that I was on earlier when I was doing research for some prop plays on today's slate. But Jordan Clarkson over his points and assists, I would take the over on that one right there. Boom. All right. Going back to the breakdown, Colin Sexton, like I said, probably be my favorite play over here for them. And then you can mess with a Clarkson or Lauri Markkanen, but between them, Larkin and Colin Sexton will be the main 2 I want to get to over there. My OKC Thunder taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. To be truthful, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with Shea. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to rest him, but we should definitely get some type of news in the late afternoon, especially because they're over on the West Coast right now. If he's going to be out, Giddey's going to control a lot of the rock in regards to what's going to go on, playmaking duties and things like that. He's going to run point. Kassan Wallace will slide into the starting lineup because that's what they've done every single time anyone has missed for us, or if they want to make a crazy rotation. So you could take Kassan as a value play, 3.9. Don't hate the upside or possibility for him here in that spot. Pretty good defensive player, and if the game blows out, either way, he's going to be out there on the court. Outside of that, you definitely could take a stab at Luke Dort, sitting there 4.9, another value play you can get if Shea was to miss. And then Dub would be the last one that I would go to as possible play that you can go to. Played very well over his last several games and normally does like to step up if Shea's going to be out. On the other side, Anthony Davis, easy day. Just go ahead and just boop, put him in there. We literally cannot defend AD unless we just run him off the court. There's no way we're going to be able to stop AD from getting his rebounds. And if AD comes in with the energy that he had when he played the Thunder that second time going up against us, it's going to be a long day. 36 minutes, 57 fantasy points, 31 points, 14 rebounds, and was just a force out there. Beat our asses 110 to 133. Again, I like the upside for him. I definitely do think this is a spot where he can possibly pop off. But Anthony Davis, just easy day. Austin Reeves, he's still in the starting lineup. Don't hate, don't mind it, but I would rather just go to D'Lo. He's going to have the rock in his hand. 41 minutes in that game against Utah, 62.25 fantasy points, and they still lost. So definitely don't mind going back to D'Lo if he's going to actually get the start. The upside should definitely be there, and he cooked going up against us when he played in that last game. Going up against the Thunder, he played 17 minutes, dropped 21.75 fantasy points. Surprised that he didn't get to play more. But definitely don't mind going to D'Lo, especially if he's back as a starter, and that gives you some value from coming out here from Austin Reeves. Outside of that, not going to force anything else from this later game. Probably at least have one piece as a late night hammer just to have something. But yeah, that was definitely a long one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. Definitely drop a like on the video if I gave you guys some type of nuggets that you can use to win in your lines. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this video uploaded and rendered and get some other stuff posted on site so you guys can be able to cash out on today. Good luck to everybody. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys did enjoy the video. Check out the Patreon. The link for that is down in the description below. My boy BK has been killing the W college basketball, so definitely check that out. We've been killing it on that side. So hit that up. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. Peace.